When we look at government macroeconomic policy, we're looking at three important goals: controlling inflation, unemployment, and economic growth. Economic policy is defined as the government attempt to increase economic welfare, and ever since the Great Depression of the late 1920s and 30s, economists have recognized a key important goal of government to stabilize the economy in terms of achieving economic welfare through controlling inflation, lowering unemployment, and achieving economic growth. When we look at inflation, keeping inflation low is an important goal. Although some inflation is seen as inevitable and normal, all governments are concerned to try to achieve stable prices, or at least prices which only rise at a slow rate. We talked about how inflation less than 5% could actually be desirable for an economy because it can aid competitiveness. Now, if prices are continuously rising at a very high rate, then we can see uncertainty in an economy. The investors can be very reluctant to invest in terms of new machinery, factories, and products because they cannot actually calculate the outcome of their investments. Similarly, rising inflation can lead to other costs like menu costs, where sellers have to continuously revise their price list, and similarly those on fixed income will realize that they are going to have a sort of loss of purchasing power. And usually the economically inactive, such as those relying on state benefits, like for example pensioners, may find their real income to fall. All of this will accumulate into what we say economic welfare to go down, and therefore the government is required to keep inflation at a low rate in order for economic welfare to not get affected. Similarly, when it comes to unemployment, keeping unemployment as low as possible is a very important macroeconomic goal because it has its own sort of economic and social effects. We did talk about this earlier. We said this, that if there is high unemployment, there will be lower standard of living for people, which can result in basically loss of income and therefore unhappiness and lower welfare in the economy. Similarly, when it comes to unemployment, we are not using our resources fully and efficiently, so we will not be on the PPC but below the PPC. When the scarce resources are not used properly, there will be inefficiency in an economy. Rising unemployment can also cause social issues like rising crime rates, rising divorce rate, and even health indicators in an economy to worsen. So keeping unemployment low becomes a very key important macroeconomic goal. Lastly, when it comes to economic growth, we are looking at basically two kinds of economic growth. One is what we call potential growth, another one is what we call actual growth. Actual growth is simply the idea that we're looking at increasing our aggregate demand. So when the aggregate demand go up, we know this, the unemployment will go down and the GDP of an economy will go up. This is good because we are now going to come closer towards the PPC. So actual growth is when the aggregate demand of the economy go up, causing the GDP of the economy to rise as well as unemployment to go down in the economy. But when it comes to potential economic growth, we're looking at a rise of productive potential of an economy, and this rise of productive potential happens when the PPC shifts to the right, which can mean that there is a rise in the quality or quantity of factors of production. So economic growth is an important goal because it can result in the productive potential to go up when it comes to potential output, but when it comes to actual GDP or actual economic growth, we're looking at aggregate demand to go up. Both are desirable in an economy as it can lead to higher welfare for people or individuals of a society.
Hey there, if you like what you saw right now, head over to altacademy.org for access to content around 6 subjects with past papers, videos, revision guides, flashcards, and academic support. All of this is going to make sure that you're completely set for your A-levels. So I'll see you there on the platform.